Hello and welcome to my channel. Say goodbye to your diet for this one, because it's a whopper. This handful of ingredients plus one is all that it takes. Make sure all of the ingredients are at room temperature, otherwise you'll have a hard time mixing them together. And now without further ado, let's put this together. We'll start with a block of cream cheese and about the same amount of brie. Make sure it's a very ripe brie. You want it soft and flavorful. This is also the ideal opportunity to use up some of the old brie that got stuck on the bottom shelf of your fridge for some reason. Cut the brie into reasonably small pieces. The smaller you cut them now, the easier it's to mash together later. Once you've done that, add a few slices of butter and the finely chopped onion. Now it's time to mix. The name Obatzter comes from mixing by hand. Feel free to do that, I'll use a fork. Once you've incorporated everything into a crude mass, it's time to season. Add some salt and pepper. This dish gets most of its flavor from the brie and the paprika. I use a little smoked paprika for extra flavor and a generous amount of paprika powder. Mix and mash everything together. At this point your arm will hurt a little and it's time to add the last ingredient. Beer. Preferably free beer, like this one, but traditionally a dark or bold lager would bring more flavor to the party. A good swig will do for now. You can add more later if you want the dip thinner. And again, we keep mixing until the beer is incorporated. Aren't you tired of mixing and mashing by now? There's help on the horizon if you want the dip smoother. This is not a commercial for Target. It just happens to be the closest department store that carries an immersion blender. A very useful tool and $20 well spent. You can thank me later. An immersion blender takes care of business in no time. Go slow and pulse in the beginning, and then just run it through. Run it through a couple of times and you have a pleasantly smooth dip with just a few little chunks for texture. After a quick cleanup, it's time to sample and adjust the seasoning. Mine needed some more salt and an extra dash of paprika powder. You want a rather bold flavor profile here. A quick stir to combine finishes the dip. Fill it into a bowl with lid and refrigerate until it's time to serve. This will last for up to a week in the fridge. You'll know when it goes bad. The smell is unmistakable. This goes well with anything pretzel and of course beer and company. If you need something sweet after this dip, there's an Apfelstrudel recipe you don't want to miss. As always, please like and subscribe.